What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey fucking Pipes. Sunday morning, 6 o'clock here in the morning, the great communist state of New York. Come on, folks. You know I got you. Sunday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Some are asking, Mikey Pipes, what the fuck are you doing up? In uniform, no less. So early on a Sunday morning. Let's just say I didn't take my medication last night. No, I'm joking. Early bird catches the worm, folks. Lead by example. Do as I do, not as I say. Come on, folks. Do I have to repeat myself over and over and over again? A true leader will also do what he expects his team to do as well. And I am far, far, far from a good leader, but I think I'm all right, generally. But I'll tell you this, I will be the first to get into that crawl space with that attic to get the job done. Anyway, folks, I have an 8 a.m. service call about a half-hour drive away in Westbury. We have a new residential client that saw one of my videos on YouTube, and he's got a ductless mini split system that's leaking water. And he preferred Saturday. I was like, listen, we don't work on Saturdays unless it's an emergency. But I will tell you what I'll do. I'll come out on a Sunday morning for like 8 a.m. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. He was like, cool. I was like, yep, cool indeed. And then at 10 a.m. I have an interview still trying to fill the residential service plumbing technician that we need to fill. We need to fill it. And I thought I had that filled last week when I hired an individual, and let's just say, you could say whatever you are on paper, but until you deliver with actions, I'll believe you. But when I see that you don't have the knowledge and the experience, let's just say that your time here will be short-lived. I have zero tolerance for that. Zero tolerance. If you tell me that you can snake out sewers and drains, right? And hypothetically, I give you a sewer or drain job, and you don't know how to do it, or you can't do it, that's a lie. Right? And if you lie about that, there's no way to recover from that. You can't. Right? So if I hire you based on what it says on a piece of paper and what we talk about, and I throw you to the wolves, I'm going to quickly see if you're telling the truth or not. And that is not an unrealistic expectation. If you tell me you're a boiler technician, and you identify a 3-zone valve hydronic boiler as a steam boiler, all right, and then I ask you to diagnose this, and if you don't know how to diagnose it, then let's step aside and let me show you. I think I handled that perfectly well. In case you guys don't know what I'm talking about the video that I dropped Friday evening on the Mikey Pipes Pipe Doctor YouTube channel. I hired an individual who had plumbing and heating experience. Now, he said he knew mostly HVAC, but when I asked him to identify what this capacitor was, right, and if you're at the supply house asking for this capacitor, what would you ask them? He goes, well, I'll hand it to him. But I'd like to give everyone the opportunity, the benefit of the doubt, that maybe the pressure of an interview or the pressure of the boss, your manager being right on top of you or with you on a service call, maybe that's too much. But the first service call, I had almost already made up my mind. All right, I was okay, you know what, maybe it's a little scratchy, maybe whatever, it's, it's all summer long and then going into winter and the first service call, I was like, you know what, but let's try a plumbing service call. So the second service call was install customer supplied Toto toilet. Let's just say that the toilet became what got scratched when he was cutting the Johnny bolts down to size so you can put the toilet bowl caps over the Johnny bolts. But I'm the bad guy, right? Come on. If you lie, or you're not truthful, or you're dishonest with your what you say in your resume, you're going to get called out on it. You're going to get called out on it, and your time is going to be short-lived. I am not hiring an apprentice. I am hiring an experienced individual who wants to work for a great team. Mic drop. But as they say, ladies and gentlemen, the show must go on. So this morning, I got that 8 a.m. service call. I'm going to take the pressure washer that we use for mini jets, just in case. And my 10 a.m. Let's just see the 10 a.m. I want to pull up his name and look at his resume again. So this individual, his resume says he lives in Shirley, New York, which is with no traffic in a passenger vehicle is a solid over an hour drive each way. He applied for our residential service plumber, experienced only. That clearly states the address and the location where we're at. He works for now a company in Port Jefferson Station as an HVAC installer. He worked for a property management company on the island before that for almost 4 years. Before that, worked 4 years for also a company where he lives doing plumbing. And so we have three jobs listed on his resume. I gotta tell you, folks, I get these resumes that it's embarrassing. If your resume is more than like a page long, and I forgive me for saying this, but if you have like 10 jobs listed on your resume, and some of you've been there for 2 months, and some of you've been there for 6 months, and there's like 10 of them like that, there's a problem. All right, that's abnormal. Maybe you're trying to find yourself, but if it's all the same type of work you're doing, there's a problem there. And there's some of you right now watching that are shaking their head, Mikey Pipes, you're a fucking idiot, you know what you talk about, you're the problem. I may be the problem, but if you hand me a resume, right? If you hand me a resume, right, and there's a few of them right here, and it says that you know something and you don't know it, and it's a major component of the position that I am hiring for, that's a problem. It's not a me problem, it's a you problem. Because you're telling me you know how to do A, B, and C, but you know how to do L, M, N, O, P instead, I am not going to train you to learn the content. That's what I call it. All right, I am here, and Daniel and the rest of the team, we are here to will help you learn the policies and procedures that I have set in place, which can change, right? But we use an app that we give you, Yusuf, on an iPhone I give you, an iPad, I give you literally a brand new, fully stocked truck with everything you could possibly imagine in there that's fully inventoried in a binder. But if you're not going to be truthful, don't expect to stay longer than necessary for me to realize either that you know it or you don't. I'm sorry. I am not the problem. I may be the problem in being too forgiving, which is what it is. And you know what? I'm tired. I am tired of dealing with these people that send me resumes, right? I'm getting resumes from people who are fucking living in New Jersey. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Let me show you. Here's an example. Here's a guy. Now, he lives in Staten Island. Now, in case you don't know what the area looks like, I'm going to pull up a map, right? To show you what the deal is here. Because some of you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? Let's just... There you go. Back up a little bit. Here is a map of the local area. Okay? You see this little spot right here? That's where we are. Okay? Shirley, by the way, is like all the way over here. Okay? Just so we know on the same page. If I need to go right here, this is JFK Airport. If I need to go right there, that could take me a good 45 minutes to go right there, which is about maybe 6 miles. Okay? You see this yellow thing right here? It's called the Belt Parkway. That is called the Belt Parkway. All right? And it starts, well, it actually starts, it's part of the Southern State Parkway, which ends at the, right there. Sagato's Parkway, right? And, sorry, no, this, I misspoke, sorry. The Belt Parkway turns into the Southern State Parkway, which ends right there at a park, a state park. I forgot what it's called, but it's near the federal courthouse in whatever that is over there. I forgot. But anyway, the Belt Parkway here, which wraps around lower Queens, and then Brooklyn, and then eventually gets you over here, right? But this could take you an hour and a half. I have many friends who work here, and it takes them an hour and a half to get home. Seriously. Who work right there. This is Staten Island, by the way. And this is Jersey. This is Connecticut. This is the Bronx. This is Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. And here, upstate New York, Westchester, things like that. But we service this. Right? And I don't even go up there, but this is the Van Wyck. Forget the Van Wyck. You don't even want to fucking know about the Van Wyck. But just so you know. So I have this gentleman coming in tomorrow. I don't think he really realizes where Woodmere is. But when he realizes it, and he realizes this is going to be too far for him, I hope he has just a professional courtesy, just as a human being, to, hey, you know what, Mike, I didn't realize, or I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it. Just whatever. Just reach out to me. Don't have me come here, wait here for you, and with my thumb up my ass, and you're going to blow smoke up my keister. Not going to happen. So there's another guy in Brooklyn, right? He applied for this job. He has one job on his resume as a plumbing apprentice for 4 months. You have one job on your resume as a plumbing apprentice for a plumbing company in Brooklyn. Worked very closely with senior plumbers, gaining hands-on experience and fostering teamwork to complete projects ahead of schedule. ChatGPT. Assisted in plumbing installations, ensuring compliance with safety standards and contributing to successful project completions. And that's it. Skills: tool maintenance, safety, compliance. And he's got a high school diploma. Professional summary: plumbing apprentice with hands-on experience working alongside seasoned plumbers to efficiently complete projects ahead of schedule. proficient in tool maintenance and ensuring safety compliance, contributing to successful plumbing installations and routine inspections. Eager to leverage skills in a team-oriented environment to enhance project outcomes and prevent disruptions. Now, okay, if you're hiring an apprentice, he's motivated, right? But the line item of the job, residential service plumber, experienced, only apply. Here's the address. All right, we talk about how much you could possibly make and more. There's no cap, but do not apply. Right? If you do not apply if you don't live nearby, right? And I keep it real. See? This is exactly what I'm looking for. And I wrote this. Okay? But you will be required to work by yourself, completing service calls. So you need to be able to manage your time and the material that we give you and the tools, everything, and manage it efficiently and effectively. It's not so hard if you know what you're doing. And there's gonna some that say, Mikey Pipes. Well, you're only hiring experienced people. You should be train someone. And someone actually commented that, train like Daniel. Daniel had a good, solid foundation of skills where he just needed a place to hone those skills and succeed. And he's succeeding. And he's not done succeeding either. I have a lot of goals for Daniel to achieve, all while being here, by the way. But he is a great team member, and he's a hustler, and he's young. And when I was his age, I was doing the same thing. And he may be a little bit smarter than me as well, probably. He is smarter than me. But I was a hustler. I would, let's go get it. Come on. But we have Derek. Derek, who was one of 3 individuals I interviewed the beginning of the summer. I think it was in May or late May, early June. And he's been here since then, full time, every single day. Shows up on time. He's reliable, dependable. He's young. He's immature, but I think that he's maturing. He is, and if he sticks with it, and he does his homework. That's what's key, folks. You have to do your homework. You will succeed. If you are just going to come in and do your job and then go home and party, chill, whatever you're going to do, you may never get to your destination. If you put in the effort, put in the work, and you invest into yourself, and this is the key take here, right here, folks. If you invest into yourself, I can guarantee that the sky's the limit. You know how stars are like gazillions of years and miles away, right? They're infinite, and the universe is infinite. But if you invest in yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and as I'm dropping a little jewel here, if you invest in yourself, you have infinite potential. I don't care if you come from a filthy rich background or you're dirt fucking poor. You'll have infinite potential in life as long as you invest in yourself. And, of course, make the right decisions. Enjoy, guys. Be well, God bless, stay safe. Wish me luck on my service call and at the 10 a.m. interview. This Friday, we're going to do Free Friday. This Friday is October 3rd, which will be the day after Yom Kippur. The office and the entire team will be off on Thursday, October 2nd. Don't expect any content from me. Don't expect anyone to answer the phone if you call us. Don't expect me to respond to the emails. See you tomorrow, God willing.